record and I will pin my video. No, it's okay. Chat, what is the thing? Yeah, recording. Yeah, started. Fine. So what we will, what we were saying, right? See, what last week, what we had learned something is if 10 raised to a, you multiply by, so multiply is just this, right? Or this 10 raised to b is equal to 10 raised to a plus b. This is what we saw last week, right? Because 10 raised to a is nothing but, let's say, 10 raised to 2 multiplied by 10 raised to 3, sorry, 3 is equal to 10 raised to 5. We saw this last week, right? In general, it doesn't matter whether what is a and b. Anytime you multiply 10 raised to a into 10 raised to b, you get 10 raised to a plus b, right? And why? We had seen it, how you multiply it x times, and that's what it becomes addition, right? All of you, I hope this is very clear, right? This what we had seen it last time, right? Just give me a thumbs up if it is. Right? Any doubt in this? Remember, okay, Ashish is giving clear. I hope everyone is also clear. We saw this starting from 10, 2 raised to something and 10 raised to something, we saw it, right? Now, anytime, okay, great. Shreyas is also given, so thumbs up, fine. So now we use this we use this to the benefit, okay? So whenever we have to write some number, okay, so which is, say, like somebody was saying 7698, somebody had given, right? Now, we can look at this number as is equal to, so just as we always use base as decimal 10, right? 10 is the base. Similarly, we can convert any number as is equal to 1000 into 7.698. So we will always have only one digit to the left of the decimal point, always only one, and everything else to the right of the decimal point, and we will multiply it by whatever is required. Okay, so 7698 becomes 1000 into 7.698. I hope this is clear. You know how is the multiplication of 10, it always adds a 0 or shifts the decimal point. I hope that is clear, right? So for example, if you say 10 multiplied by 1, like 18.0 is equal to, you shift the decimal point 1 to the right, is equal to 180.0, right? Similarly, if it is 10 multiplied by 18.1 is equal to 18.1 means 18.10 is equal to, we shift it by 181.0, right? Is this clear? This is simple, it just follows it. Please, if it is not clear, then please tell. Ashish?
Sir, I didn't understand.
Okay. See, whenever we multiply, okay, let us, even before this, let us say, how do you calculate what is 50 multiplied by 10? We just add 1 0 to it, right? We just add 1 0 to it, 500.
Yes.
Right? What if somebody asks you 49 multiplied by 10? Will you keep calculating, or will you just say, oh, it is 490? You just add 1 0 to the end.
Yes, sir, 490.
So actually, when it is not just adding 0, it is actually shifting the decimal point. So actually 50 is nothing but 50.00. Okay, so 50 is nothing but 50.00, and 49 is nothing but 49.00. And when you multiply by 10, you shift the decimal point to the right. Okay, so that is what, see, 18 is nothing but 18.0. Actually, you can always write 18 as 18.00000. It is same as 18. Right? Now, when you multiply it by 10, the decimal point, which was after 1 and 8 and before the first 0, it shifts by 1 to the right. Okay, 180.0 it becomes, which is same as 180. Is it making sense?
Yes, sir.
See, 10 into 18.1 is 181, and 181 divided by 10 is 18.1. So when you divide by 10, that time you shift the decimal point to the left. Okay, this is the beauty of the decimal system, right? Decimal system, whenever we multiply or divide by 10, we don't have to do any calculation. We have to just shift the decimal point. That's it. We don't have to do any calculation. Just shifting the decimal point gets us the answer, whether it is multiply or divide by any power of 10, 10, 100, 1000, etc. We just shift
So
the
what if
decimal.
there's no decimal point?
No, there is, so good question. So actually decimal point, so everything has got a decimal point. There is no number. It is just that sometimes you don't write it, but always there. Tell me any number and there is a decimal. So if 50 is nothing but 50.000, 49 is nothing but 49.00. So it is not that it does not have a decimal point. If after a decimal point there is nothing, it is everything is zero, then you just drop it. That is like simplifying. We don't have to write it. That is a convention. We say that why do you write it if there is nothing? But you will write it even if there is a 50.0012. Now you cannot drop the decimal point because there is something after. It is not complete zero. But if it is 50.00000, now what you say is that it is everything is zero after the decimal point, then I don't need to write this. I can drop it and just write it as 50. But actually every number in the decimal system, always there is a decimal point. There is no such thing as no decimal point, actually. Okay, it is just for simplicity, we don't write it. Like in this case. Okay, it is just by convention. When you think that, oh, what is the number like 3? Yeah, 3 is nothing but 3.00000. Or whatever, up to whatever way you go, it is all 0000. This is what we say, and we simplify this by saying that there is no point in writing 0.00000 if there is nothing, no number. So we write test 3. But here, if there was something extra, something little bit extra, if little bit is also there, then there is a point in writing that decimal point.
So, sir, the point will always end with zero, sir.
Huh?
So the point will always be ending with zero, sir.
No, point will not end with zero. You can also have it like, so something like this also. What do you mean ending by zero? It is not ending. Something like this also you can have, right?
Like, sir, for 50, it was like 50.000.
In case of 50, it is like everything is zero after that. But there are other numbers which are not. But the decimal point is always there. Okay. So decimal point is always there. So when you say there is no decimal point, actually that is the place at which there is decimal point, and after that it is all 0000. Okay. So that is why. So now if you take 3 and you divide it by 10, then the decimal point will shift to the left. Instead of 3.0, it will become 0.3. Okay. Versus, and if you divide 3 by 100, then what will happen? 3 divided by 100. So 2 times decimal point will shift here. So this will become 0.03. Okay, that is what is 3 by 100. Okay, so this is the fundamental thing that you have to just understand it in the case of decimal numbers. Anyone has any doubt? Because yeah, maybe this is something that we should do it first and then do. Anyone has any doubt? Pranav S.
No, sir, no doubts.
Shreyas. Sai Pranav.
Sir, no doubts.
Okay, Madhura, I hope it is clear, right? Okay, so
Yes.
given, okay, so if this is clear, then what I am saying here will make sense to you. Any number can be expressed as something 1 point something, 2 point something, whatever it is, some single digit point something multiply by a 10 thing. Give me any number, any digit number, any number, even including a decimal. Just give me any number. Somebody give me a very large number also.
54321
54321
765.
765. Point something you want to add or no?
0.943.
9438. Okay, fine. Now this number can also be expressed as So whatever is this number, now you see where is the decimal point after so many digits. So I want to have it after the first digit only, always. Then I will explain, I will not remove any number. I will just keep it. I will just shift the decimal point. 5.432176599438. See, I have not dropped any of the digits. Only thing is that I want to, and multiplied by whatever is the number. How many places did I shift from here? I shifted it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is nothing but 10 raised to 7. 10 raised to 7. Okay, so 5.432176,765,9438 multiplied by 10 raised to 7. This is what I can express it. Any number like this, I can express it. Okay, because I just always shift the decimal point to just after the first digit, and then multiply by whatever is necessary. How many I have shifted the places, that many I get 10 raised to 7. Okay, the key part is, now we apply, when we apply the logarithms, right, what it becomes very, very easy. Okay, is, see, what is the log of?
Sir, I had a question.
Yeah.
Sir, if it was 0.543217659438, would you have to do times 10 to the power 8 or something else?
I will still give you 10 raised to negative power. See, 0.54321, we'll just take a simple one. 0.543217 is equal to 5.43217 multiplied by, now what did I do? Earlier I was shifting the decimal point from towards the left. Now here it is already beyond the leftmost significant digit. So I want it after the first significant digit, which is 5. 0 is not significant digit, right? Only 1 to 9. So after 5 I want it. Now instead of turning left, I want to turn right. So multiplied by 10 raised to minus 1. Because I am shifting to the right. So 5.43217 into 10 raised to minus 1 is same number as what you asked, 0.54317.
That's what I meant, like at the top you wrote 5.43216599438 as 5.43217659438 times 10 to the power 7. So couldn't you write it as 0.5432176599438 times 10 to the power 8?
Yeah, you can write it. It is just a convention what we want. See, it is like you can always write it. Okay, there is no, and it is correct number. Only thing is that the logarithm tables that we use, right here, where is that? Here. These are constructed specifically to give you a lookup from 1.0. No, this is logarithm, logarithm. These are constructed to go from 1.0. Okay, just as a convention, 1.0 up to 9.9. Okay, 9.9. So that is a convention people have adopted, and so we always write it as first significant digit, which can be anywhere from 1 to 9 point something else multiplied by 10 raised to whatever is the power. So that is just a way, just as we have adopted 10 as the base, similarly this also is a practice. It is a practice of always doing like this, and then it becomes easy because now I know to look up the log of this one. I know where to look. I want to look in the 54th row, third column, and then offset by 2. That is what I want to do it. So this is what I can I can do it very, very simply, and that is why we do it like this. Okay, so the log tables are starting from 1.0 to 9.9. They are there, and now any number you can express it by that multiplied. Okay, so what I was coming to is, now forget this, I will erase this. Now this number, now if we want to get a log of this number, what is log of whatever is the number that you give, right? 5432176599438 is equal to, now what is this? We said log of this number multiplied by log of 10 raised to 7. Now anytime whenever is the 10 raised to 7, the log is always going to be 7, because that is what is the thing that you give, right? Log of 100 is 2, log of 1000 is 3. Log of 10 raised to 2 is 2. Log of 10 raised to 3 is 3. Log of 10 raised to 5 is 5. So what is log of 10 raised to 7 is 7. So you find out the log of 5.43, which we don't, for which we need the table. 5.43217659438. Whatever is this number, we look up in a table, plus log of 10 raised to 7. Now that is very simple. Log of 10 raised to 7 is equal to 7.0. So whatever is this number, 5.432 ka log, you just add 7 to it. So this number is always going to give you 0 point something. So 0 point something plus 7. What is that? 7 point something. Right? Equal to whatever is log something something plus 7.0. See, it is very simple. This is what we learned. If 10 raised to, if some number is equal to 10 raised to x, then log of that number is x. This is what we studied last year, right? Last week. So if n is equal to 10 raised to 7, n is equal to 10 raised to 7. So then log of n is equal to 7.0. If n is equal to 5, sorry, n is equal to 10 raised to 5, 1 lakh, then log of n is 5, right? So that is why we give one part of the number of the logarithm, we get it very simply just by saying how many decimal places we have to shift. The other part we get it by look up in the table. And for that look up in the table, I always want to look up a number. I have got the table only going from 1.0 to 9.9. So I always convert any number into something which is above 1.0 and between less than 9.9 by writing like this, and then hence I get the thing. So I hope now it is clear. Is it okay? Does it make sense?
Sir, I had one question.
Yeah.
How did the person who made the log table find out what the log was?
That is a very interesting story. It will require probably 2 or 3 episodes for us. It's a very beautiful story, but maybe I'm not ready to do it right now, but probably I will work on it and I will give a session sometime. Okay. How did you, first you give the table, because we all can use the table, but how did you create this table in the first place? Right? Who did it? Is it like automatically it came? Somebody would have done this, right? Somebody. How did it? It's a very interesting story, but I mean, to teach you guys, I need to prepare the history and I need to do this. Okay. So sometime we will do it. Okay. Any question?
No, sir.
So,
Sir, this is the standard way of writing, right? Like any number,
yeah.
we put a decimal after the first digit and into 10 raised to
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a standardized way of writing. Okay. Especially when you want to do calculations. Okay. Otherwise, you can always write it number, but when you want to do calculation, it becomes easier if you do it like this and then do, because it is much more easier to simply. Okay. In fact, in computers, they always store a number in a standardized form. So even if you give a number as 2.31972 or 2,31,927.562 or 23.917, whatever you give it, the computers always store it in standardized form. They will make it something like this, but it is binary notation. Computers use binary, not decimal. But and there is a similar way of converting any number into binary, whatever, just as we say 5.432, etc. Right? In binary, there is only 0 and 1. So, and everything is like 0 and 1, 10.1010 or 1101, whatever it is. All the digits are only 0 and 1, and the power is base being 2. It is not 10 raised to something. It is 2 raised to something. Okay. So 2 raised to 63, 2 raised to 62, 2 raised to 31, 2 raised to 15, etc. So that is how the computers work. But they always use the base as 2, binary. Okay. But for us also, it is possible to work, but it is easier. We have always been, from the birth, we have been told about decimal system. We are used to calculating in decimal. That's why for us, it is easy. For computers, it is easier to do it in decimal. Sorry, not decimal, binary. Okay. So just have that. Okay. There is one more very powerful way of using the logarithms, which I want to tell. Tell me, all of you, especially the younger ones, do you know what is a square root and a cube root? Has that been introduced in school? When was that introduced? Is it like 7th, 6th, or when?
So it's not introduced to me, but I know it very well.
You know it, right? And you are in 6th standard, huh?
Yes, sir. But it's not introduced in school.
Oh, it is not introduced. So when does it get introduced? Anybody know? 7th?
Yeah.
7th, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not there for me, but I know it.
Avnish, you are in 6th or 7th?
So 6.
Oh, you are also in 6th. But you know what is square root and all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody who does not know? Ashish, you are also in 6th or 7th?
Sir, I'm in 6th, sir, but I've not been introduced to rules.
Oh, okay. Because
So I also don't know.
who is that? Who is the 4th one? Pranav S, huh? Or what?
Yes.
Shreyas. Okay, Shreyas, you are also in 6th, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody, most of you are in 6th, I think. Ahan is 8th, Madhura is 9th. Pranav S, you are in?
Sir, I'm also 9th.
Okay, you are also 9th. So you have got this, right? So, okay, so I will just introduce it, okay, because we are very close here. So I will introduce it. See, it is like what is also, this is again, this one principle is anytime, see, first of all, square root means raising a number to the power 1 by 2. 1 by 2. Okay. So what does this mean? So if 10 is the number, and if you want, what is the square root of 10? Square root of 10 is, and I will show you, square root of 10 is equal to 10 raised to 1 by 2. What is 1 by 2 is 0.5 is equal to 10 raised to 0.5. Okay. That
100 would be a better example, no?
Yeah, I mean 100 will be an easier example. So square root of 100, okay. We know that square root of 100 is 10. Why? Because as 10 into 10 is equal to 100. Right? So this is what we, okay. So square root of 100 is this. But square root of 100 is also nothing but square root of 100 is 100 to the power, okay, 1 by 2. Okay. Now there is one, see, so now 100 is 10 raised to 2 is equal to 10 raised to 2, and this raised to 1 by 2. So 2 and 1 by 2 actually so this is equal to 10 raised to 2 multiplied by 1 by 2. Now 2 multiplied by 1 by 2 is 2 and 1 by 2 cancel each other out. So 10 raised to 1 is equal to 10 raised to 1. That is how we get this. Okay, yeah. Okay. So square root is nothing but raising it by 1 by 2. Okay. Is it too complicated? I mean, it looks. Does it make sense? Pranav S or Sai? No, Pranav S, it will make sense already. Avnish, Sai Pranav. See, square root of some number is that number which when multiplied by itself gives the actual number. So if 100 is the number, square root of 100 is some number which multiplied by itself gives 100. So 10 into 10 gives 100. So square root of 100 is 10. 2 into 2 is 4. So square root of 4 is 2. 3 into 3 is 9. So square root of 9 is 3.
Sir, if sorry, nothing. I thought you were in cube roots.
Huh? Sorry?
I thought you were in cube roots now.
Cube root, I will tell you. First, we'll just get square root and then we'll go to cube root. Okay. So square root of any number is some number, some other number which multiply by itself gives you the original number, right? Now that can also be expressed as 10 raised to whatever that number raised to half. Okay, so and another law of powers is that
You can just do 1 upon that number and find it.
correct. So but it is like this. So the general law is this: if 10 raised to some number a and you take it the whole number, we raise it to the power b. Okay, this becomes 10 raised to a multiplied by b. Okay, in what does this mean is that if I take 10 to the power 200, okay, and raise it by 1 by 2. Okay, now a is 2, b is 1 by 2. So it is same as 10 raised to 2 multiplied by 1 by 2. 2 multiplied by 1 by 2 is 0.5. 2 multiplied by 0.5 is 1. So 10 raised to 1. So this is the actual law. This is another law of logarithms. Is 10 raised to some number raised to some other number is same as 10 raised to. So when you raise a power to another power, that time the two powers just multiply by itself, a into b. Okay, this is the fundamental law. If you get this, then you can apply it and you can find out square root of any number very easily using logarithms. Okay, so what we will do is that if any number is there, suppose you want to know square root of 49, we know, which is 7. 7 into 7 is 49. What is square root of 48? It will be some approximate number. It will not be an exact number. It will be something 6 point something it will. But how to find out? So we will just use the square root of 49.
The example you gave below is the same as the example before.
But 100 was very easy to understand. So let us look at it here for some other number, which is not. We don't know. What is the number which square by itself gives 48? We don't know. Because we know 49 is got by 7 into 7, 36 is got by 6 into 6. Somewhere in between it will be something 6 point something, which will give us square by itself. It will give us 48. What is that number? So what
So
we
five.
do is,
So can you do 5? Sir?
yeah. Sorry.
Is it 5, sir?
No, it is not 5 because 5 square is 25. So square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36 is 6. So it will be higher than 6, right? See, 25 square root is 5, 36 square root is 6, 49 square root is 7. So it will be somewhere between 6 and 7. It will be some point.
Then it will be 6.5, sir.
No, it will not 6.5 also. See, 48. It has to be 6.5 into 6.5 is not 48. It will be something 0.25. Okay. So what is that number? The way to find out in logarithms is, so find the log of is equal to half into 0. So first is
So we have to do log of 48 and then divide that by 2 and then answer.
Correct. See, we take the log of 48, divide by 2 or multiplied by 0.5 and then find the antilog. That is what we get the square root. We'll just do it. 48 is 4.8 into 10, right? 4.8 into 10 raised to 1 means 1 point something. So 48, let us look at it. 48 is 6812. So log of 48 is log of 48 first. Log of 48 is equal to 1.6812. We divide it by 2. Multiply by 0.5 means divide by 2 because we want to do the square root, right? Square root is equal to dividing the log by 2. So 1.6812 divided by 2 is equal to. So what do we do? 0.8406, correct? Yeah, just divide 1.6812 by 2. You get 0.8406. Now you find the antilog of this. 8406. is equal to, let us look at it. Go to anti-logarithms, 8, 4. 0, 6, 8, 4, 0, and sixth thing we have to add, which is 10. So 6918 plus 10, 6928. 6.928. This is the actually the square root of 48. Now, if you are not, if you want to check out, okay, let us do a calculator. Let us just do a calculator. Oh, I am sharing the thing, so you will not be able to see this one. Huh? Let me stop the sharing and let me start sharing with my screen. So, calculator. What was that? 6.9 something we have got it, right? 6.928 multiplied by 6.928. What do we get it? See, 47.99, almost very close we got, right? This is what actually, because it is all approximate. So 48 is very close to 47.997, right? So 6.928 is actually the square root of 48. And how did we do it? We did not do any complex division. We just took the log, divided by 2, and found the anti-log, right? So this is the way that the logarithms help in all your calculations. And just as you can for square roots, we divided the log by 2. For cube roots, what is it? We will divide by what? We will divide the log by 3 and we will get the cube roots. Okay. If we divide the log by 4, we get the fourth roots. Okay. So I think it might get a, I think for, I think whoever is a 8-9 standard, I think it will be fairly okay. But I think rest of you, it might be a little bit thing. So we'll stop here. Okay. But I guess you got the idea, right? What I will do is next week, you think about this, try out these some multiplications, divisions like this, and get yourself familiar. I can send you the log book that you can find it anywhere, but I can send it to you, this PDF, the logarithmic table. And next week, I'm sure you will have more doubts, especially all of you in the 6th standard, because all of these topics have not been introduced to you. So next week, we can again clarify any doubts, because let us get this pakka. But if you get this pakka in your head, then it is a lot, very useful, very useful. Okay.
Sir,
You got it?
Sir, for if you told square roots for 48, no, sir.
Yeah.
Because for 7 it's 49, sir. It will be in between
6 and 7.
6 and 7, no, sir.
Correct.
So will it be after 6.5 or before 6.5?
It will be much after 6.5, because see, it is like this. The closer, how do I do? I think I have to explain this in a longer way. I will probably explain this to you next week. Is it okay? I think we are already at 10:59. Huh? I will explain it. We'll spend time on this. Okay. But meanwhile, you try doing some addition, multiplications and divisions using logarithms. You can do it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. So I will stop the sharing and I will end it now. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I had a question.
Yes. Go ahead.
In another one, long ago, you had done a question in which you had to divide two large numbers. You had asked us.
Yes.
Sir, in that, how did you get a 1 point something?
When in today's class only or before that?
Today's class only.
Oh, today's class only. No, what I did is, see, division of two numbers means subtraction of their logarithms. So I found the first number, I found a logarithm, subtracted the second number logarithm from the first number logarithm. So I found the logs of both numbers, subtracted the second from the first, and whatever was the result, I found the anti-log of that. That's what gave me the answer. That is what is the simplest way to do. Any 2-digit numbers are division. So take the first number, take the log, subtract it. So that is how I got it. But I got it minus 1 point something. I did not get 1 point something, because the second number was larger than the first number. So when I subtracted the logs, I got minus 1 point something, and then minus say 0 point something. There is a very simple way to look up the antilog. Minus 1 means 10 raised to minus 1 I multiply. Right? If I had got plus 1 point something, I would have multiplied whatever is the antilog by 10, means 10 raised to 1. If I had got the answer as 2 point something, I would have found out the antilog and multiplied by 10 raised to 2. But here I got minus 1 something, so I multiplied by 10 raised to minus 1 is nothing but 1 by 10. So that is how I got it as I think 76 or something like that, whatever is the answer I got it. Okay. But again, I will cover it again next week if it is not clear. Okay. All
Yes.
right. See you. Bye-bye.